It's, how to be able to say that writing is a lonely business without saying writing is a lonely business is almost impossible to say, so I will repeat it rapidly. That it is a solitary business, which I quite like. But then there are times when you think, well, what are other people doing? Why shouldn't I be out romping over the greensward with the other lads and lassies? And to make a movie is you get to know a lot of people quite intensely for a rather short time. And that's perfect for me. I have a short attention span. And it's very enjoyable to have 2-3 weeks with a company, and everybody is sort of working toward the same end. And it's collegial. It's nice. Rather better than being in the Senate, I would say, where you have colleagues, but you really end up not liking many of them at all. So.
Is that still one of the things that you would have liked most, do you think, to be a senator?
No, not anymore. If I'd been one 30 years ago, yeah. There was still some point to it. Now the Senate has no power to speak of. Or it has powers of a sort that don't interest me. It's like the power to funnel money from the federal government to your friends. This is not my idea of a noble activity. No, it's much better telling stories and being a flickering image on a screen. It has a sort of ghostly afterlife to it, which is intriguing.
Good luck, Monty.
Less theatrical. Still like
Good
big.
luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Anybody in my generation was brought up on the talking film, which came in when I was about 4 years old, so...
It's good luck.
I was 14 years old in the year of Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz. The great classic films were made as I was growing up, and I saw them. So we were all riveted by films, my generation. It's no accident. Norman Mailer, William Burroughs, Truman Capote, all of my contemporaries have acted in movies. Not very well, most of them.
Good luck, Monty.
That was so perfect.
Movies are now the lingua franca of the world, or were.
Scary.
Until television.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Well, we were doing Mary Hartman and received a letter from Gore. We hadn't been on the air very long, about 2 months, I guess, but in the case of Mary Hartman, 2 months was a little different than the average weekly show. It had really caught America by storm because it was on Monday through Friday, every night of the week. Gore, I guess, had heard about it. Somebody sent him some tapes, and next we got a letter. Could he was coming to the States anyway, and could he guest on the show? Could we find some way to write him in? And of course we did. I believe we wrote him in when Mary Hartman was about to, or had just had, a nervous breakdown, was about to be institutionalized, and Gore was covering the story ostensibly for some major national publication, and he came on as himself. And nothing was the same.
So you really want to write a book with me about you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I really want to write a book about me, by me, about you.
Oh, about you, about me?
Yes.
You see, that is what I thought.
Yes.
See, sometimes they try to trick you around here.
I can certainly see that. Anyway, as I told you on the telephone from Rome, I think that a book about you would be a book about America. It would be a book about emptiness, a book about promises unkept. It would also be, paradoxically, a book about hope. It would be a book about, well, survival against pretty terrible odds.
I would love to read that book.
I think Gore Vidal has his own place because he's so much a part of the popular culture. He's so welcome as a literary entertainer on the average talk show. And at the same time, he's more and more welcome in literary circles. I mean, of great esteem. I mean, Gore, to hear Gore talk, you know, the intellectual part of American literary life has not found him. to watch his amazing career is to understand that he's very well received. But he's like few other writers, like nobody else I can think of. 360 degrees of the culture seems to find interest in Gore Vidal.
There's Gore Vidal, the American writer. Let's ask him for an interview.
Good evening, Mr. Vidal. Do you mind if we disturb you for a second?
Well, I suppose you're going to ask me that inevitable question, why do I live in Rome? You could say I live here because it's so central, centrale. But most of all, I like the Romans. They don't care if you live or die. They're like cats. And of course, this is...
What do you think your most successful enterprise in the movies has been?
Well, the only time that I ever got something of my own made in my own way until the recent Billy the Kid with Val Kilmer was The Best Man, which was a play of mine that ran for 2 years on Broadway, opened in 1960. And it's a very good movie about American politics with Henry Fonda, Lee Tracy, Cliff Robertson. And it was one of the few realistic, satiric plays about American politics.
Why? Bill, isn't easy to say, but I came here to support Cantwell for president.
I knew that this morning.
Did you now?
I have some gift for politics.
Well, I never said you didn't.
Tonight you warned me about Cantwell's smear, so that means you've changed your mind about him, doesn't it?
Yes, I have changed my mind about him. He lost me because he wasn't smart. He made a mistake. He figured I was going to back you when I wasn't. You got my message. Joe didn't. That's a serious error. Shows he doesn't understand character. And then, this smear thing. He fires off a cannon to kill a bug, and that is just plain dumb. So, I mean to knock him off. Which means, I guess, that you are going to be our next president.
I suppose, having been born at West Point, whose motto is duty, honor, country, that some of it must have rubbed off on me, because I noticed recurring themes, and particularly my dramatic work, is honor and justice, duty, how to behave when the enemy comes, what is honor.
You want to go on?
It ain't what I want, it's what I have to do. I guess you've gone and forgotten all the big talk. How we was all going to die for liberty, all the rest of it. Don't you remember, Father, all the speeches, all the talk, what you said right here in this room? It's our honor that's at stake. You remember?
I didn't know.
No, nobody knew, but that don't make any difference. Now there are no more speeches. There's nothing left but dying. Well, we still know how to do that. We got a real calling for that.
And do you side with those who compromised or with the idealists, however mistaken?
I think people are what they are. I don't sit in moral judgment on them.
But you like the idea of putting them into a moral situation where they had to choose?
Oh, yes. A collision of this sort is, it involves life and death, and what is honor, what is national honor, what is personal honor.
Sir, let me go with you. I could protect you.
Does the Billy the Kid character, who figures in several incarnations in your work, is he that same sort of morally ambiguous creature?
He's more the great god Pan, I think.
How can I take this? This is my present to you.
Mr. Tunstall, you give me everything I own. I don't want nothing to happen to you.
He's sort of Huckleberry Finn, the noble savage, the beauty of the wilderness, to escape civilization. As Mark Twain has Huck Finn says, to light out for the territory. Well, Billy, born in New York, lights out for the territory and creates himself. He was somebody who, again, believed in a personal honor, also didn't much care for civilization. And he thought, if you kill my friend, I will kill you.